We have over 2,000 employees. And so our vision is building healthy communities through these partnerships. So that's why we're so passionate about our communities, and that's why we really believe in this. So now I'd like to turn my attention back to farm rescue. And when I was thinking about what to say, I wanted to talk a little bit about Bill Gross. And reflecting back on my meetings with Bill, I was really impressed with his leadership skills. It is a rare person who comes along and has the ability to raise the standards for all of us, who can pull on the heartstrings of all of us and can inspire a group of individuals to achieve what farm rescue has achieved. The real success of farm rescue, it can't be found in a manual. You just can't find that. Really, the success of this organization comes from the heart of its founder, these volunteers, and its sponsors. Also, a lot of it has to do with Bill's attitude. It's that little thing that makes a huge difference. The right attitude provides that source of power that moves us all in the right direction. This is what has moved farm rescue in the right direction. At this time, I'd like to talk about a story that I ran across here a while back, and it's called the starfish story. Maybe some of you have heard about this. It goes like this. One day a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy picking up something and gently throwing it back into the ocean. Approaching the little boy, he asked, "What are you doing?" The youth replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean. The surf is up and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." "Son," the man said, "don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and hundreds of starfish? You can't possibly make a difference." After listening, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it back into the surf. Then smiling at the man, he said, "I made a difference for that one." So when I read that, I was really thinking, this is really farm rescue, making a difference one starfish at a time. Or we can say maybe this is Bill Gross, that little boy saving one farmer at a time. With that in mind, I would like to give Bill a round of applause again for his leadership, his vision, his great attitude, and that ability to make a difference. Thank you, Bill. Let's briefly talk about the volunteers. These are really the people that make farm rescue work. Not saying anything about Bill here. But their enthusiasm really drives this organization, and they're very devoted to their cause. I've just talked to a few. You watch the videos, you can sure see that. As volunteers, it's all about teamwork. These volunteers came together in the beginning, and we know that when a team stays together, that's progress. And by working together, you've created this successful organization. Volunteers, thank you for your hard work. Let's give them a round of applause. The main reason why we are all here tonight is so that we can celebrate the farm families that we have helped and that we will help. We all understand that we cannot change what has happened yesterday. We can only make the most of today, but we can always hope for that better tomorrow. Farm families, please stay strong through these adversities. Again, I would like to give them a round of applause. 2 weeks ago, I really had a cold. It would have been wild up here tonight. But before I end, I'd like to provide you with two farm rescue stories. One is our regional CFO in Fargo. His name is Lee Fergine. His father farms in the Ransom County area. And he had rented out the land for several years to the same renter. And in the spring of '08, the renter was had a stroke during planting. And through the renter, Farm Rescue went in and planted the crops. And the reason why I bring this up is when I talk to Lee about this, he usually gets teary-eyed, and you can tell how powerful it was on him. And I don't know, maybe that person is here tonight or whatever, but that really meant a lot to him and his family and his relatives to have that happen. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my personal farm rescue. This began in March of 1992. My father just turned 63, and he had been having problems with his lungs and stuff. They went in, they were treating him for pneumonia. Of course, the spots got bigger. We probably knew it wasn't pneumonia. June 20th of that year, we went to Fargo and to the Roger Maris Cancer Center. 2 days later, just happened to be, it was on my birthday, we met with the doctors and whoever. We were told to go home, get his paperwork in order, and tell your friends goodbye. July 12th of that year, my father passed away. I worked in St. Paul, my sister was in Bismarck, and my brother was in Fargo. And our dilemma is that we had 300 head of cattle out in pasture in July in the Turtle Mountains. We had crops that were coming due here in the next couple months. Really didn't know exactly how we were going to handle this. That next morning, or that next Monday morning, we got up, we were going to round up cattle, and there was 3 of us, and of course, we hadn't been engaged in this for quite a while. Didn't have any four-wheelers, or horses had been sold, and so we were, going to hoof it and try to get this figured out. A neighbor called and said, he'd come over and help and stuff like that. And so all of a sudden, people started to show up, cars and pickups and stuff. Within an hour, we probably had 30 people there. And they all showed up without asking, which it was just unbelievable. The other thing, when you're rounding up cattle in the Turtle Mountains in July, they don't want to come home. They are faster than a buffalo. They're Angus, their tails are straight in the air, and all you can see is them going over the next hill. So we rounded up 275. The remaining 25 we found later on in the fall when they decided they need something to eat. A few days later, we were going to figure out how we're going to get them to market, made a call or so. The next morning, we probably had, 10 semis pull in the yard, and again, these were friends of the family. Our neighbors helped us with the harvest, and our relatives also helped us take off the crop. So this is really the main reason why that I'm standing here tonight. I really believe in people helping people. It is so powerful. This is the reason why we're all here tonight, so we can help these farmers get through a difficult time so they can resume their life. For this is what builds these healthy communities for you and I, and for these future generations. Bremer is proud to be your partner. Thank you, Farm Rescue, for all you do by helping these farmers throughout this region. Again, I would like to say thank you to Bill Gross, the volunteers, the sponsors, and the families. Thank you very much.